Hi there.
Hello.
Thanks a lot for joining us, folks. This trip today, it's raining.
Yep.
So we kind of knew that coming in. It's going to be raining all weekend, and as you guys know, we only have weekends to come out here.
And it's going to be worse tomorrow than today.
Yeah. So, not too much to do. There's not going to be a lot of complexity to this video. We're gathering moss.
Yep.
And moss and more moss. So I'm not sure what kind of a video we're going to get in the end of this one, but hopefully we can make it entertaining. But I know that by the end, if things work out like I'm planning in my head, it's going to be quite pretty, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
So thanks again for being with us, folks. We're going to go out there and get soaked. So time to get some moss.
Yep. Get the moss.
Get the moss. Okay, so while there's moss everywhere in this forest, and we could easily get some near a shelter, we want to keep the moss there because it just makes things a lot prettier. The moss will regrow. All the moss that we're taking regrows quite fast, but still we just want to keep it nice and pristine. So I'm going to go out into the woods, get some moss. Here goes Sandra finally.
Sorry, I was exploring. Looking for moss spots.
Alright, I haven't started yet. So not all moss is the same. Depending on the patch you get, it might be easy to gather or it might be difficult. If it tends to grab or to stay in small bunches, we'll move on to another patch. Well, basically you kind of have to test it out. This one grabs a little bit, but we can get some out. There we go, not too bad. That's not the best. I'm not sure if the camera's catching me here. I'm using my phone because it's waterproof in case the rain opens up again, but this is a nice patch here. I'm just pulling a little bit. It's giving me a nice big square, which is going to work fantastic. Although kneeling in the wet moss, I really wish I'd put on some rain pants.
I thought you were putting it inside up.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to, yeah.
You messed up.
I did, I messed up. So we're gonna be, hopefully we're planning right now to get 5 sledfuls each before we start putting it on the shelter. So that's the plan. You can see Sandra's sled, she's putting it topside down. So when we get to camp, we're just going to have to flip the sled over and they'll all be prepped up for us to put on the shelter. Ooh, this stuff is rotten.
one more, but then I think I gotta head down.
Yeah. Center sled load is pretty much good to go.
Alright. First load. I got my first load. Now can I get it out of here without losing it all?
Is it?
Yeah, because it's all wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, I'm going to call it there, 'cause I'm probably going to spill some. Gonna cut across. Alright. So that's one each, 4 more to go. We got a lot to cover. Show you guys that right now actually. Alright, so this is what we're covering, this ugly, rust-colored, dead spruce needle. So, in my mind, I thought these were going to fall, and well, we're going to be left with branches. But actually, it kind of works in our favor because this is going to add some additional insulation. But I find it a bit ugly, so we're going to cover it. We're also going to shove some in to block some holes. So it's going to be works twofold for this moss. One, it's going to add some insulation, and two, I think it's going to look quite nice. Okay, so we put the moss in, green slide down, and the hope is once we flip it, it'll be easy to access. Bit of a mismatch.
Yeah. Just gonna roll it? Or?
Yep. Ah, much nicer job, much cleaner.
I work in perfection.
Yeah. That's my crappy job. There's Sandra's nice green job. Nice bales of moss though.
Yeah.
Four more, at least. I like moss. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I've always liked moss. Ever since I was a little kid. It's like walking on a big old carpet. There's so many different kinds, and I figured I'd do a little bit of research because all we're doing is picking moss, and I didn't know how to make this interesting, but come to find out, there's over 10,000 different kinds of moss out there, over 1,000 different species in Canada alone, and we've noticed in just collecting moss out here that there's a huge difference between just 2 or 3 different species. The ones that we found here, they gather really nicely, which is awesome. But I'll show you some other examples a little bit later on, show you how much more difficult it can be. So if you can find the right kind of moss, I think this is sphagnum moss, but I'm not 100% certain. But picks really well. You like moss, Sandra?
Yeah, I like moss. I like that moss is an insulator.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like moss even more this winter.
Yeah, I agree. So here's kind of an example of what I was talking about, the different kinds of moss. This yellowish green moss here, it comes out really nicely. These green ones, these dark green ones, they have much stronger root system. So when I try to pull this, they're anchored in, so it makes gathering it really difficult if you want to have nice big squares. Kind of breaks up into smaller pieces. Now this patch, on the other hand, which only has the yellowish moss, comes out in nice big squares, nice and easy. It's pretty nice. Also, Sandra pointed out she was looking up some fun facts about moss, and apparently moss doesn't have a root system, so forget what I last said about those green ones. I guess it's called something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
She can't remember what it was.
I couldn't read it. It was a word I hadn't seen before.
There you go.
It's all downhill.
Yeah. Conditions are a bit wet, so I'm putting a little bit more birch bark than I usually would. A lot more birch bark than I usually would. And I'm using matches instead of a ferro rod. Not because of the wet conditions, the ferro rod would work fine. I just wanted to use matches this time. Sandra went down to the spring to get some water, and it looks like it's starting to rain again. So I'm here stuck in the bug with this nice little fire inside the shelter. I feel kind of bad. But I'm going to be the one going out in the rain putting the moss on the shelter soon. So it evens out. And her stuff. Started raining again, huh?
Yeah.
How's the spring flowing?
Not great.
Yeah, it was a little bit slow last time I was there.
Yeah.
I have to take a look at it. Could be a problem with the bucket. A few adjustments. Okay, we got 6 sledfuls of moss. I was hoping for more, but everything always takes longer than I anticipated in my mind. You'd think I'd learn that by now. But now I'm going to start layering it on to the shelter here. So this is the first time I've ever done this. Much like all of our builds, these are just ideas that kind of come up in my head. And we go with it. Sandra basically tells me what won't work, and we go from there. But I'm going to try to pile these on and see I have 2 concerns. One, whether or not it's going to hold. And 2, once it holds, moss holds a lot of water. So it might add some weight, but with all these beans that we've put across, hopefully that will alleviate things. I'm also going to put some bracing poles on the inside. But for now, I'm just going to start putting the moss on. Whenever there's gaps, I'm just going to shove some in. And it's basically using the fir boughs. That was my plan. That's why we put fir boughs to begin with, was to have something for the moss to anchor onto. Now I don't want to break up the big chunks. Well, it's early moments, but so far, happy. So far, I'm happy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's nowhere near a done deal yet, but oop, I'm not unhappy. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, looks nice.
Seems to be doing pretty good. I think we're gonna have, I mean, I'm gonna double it up.
Yeah.
So we should have pretty close to enough, I would think.
Yeah, I think you have enough for sure because you're still on the first sled fold.
Oh, I like it when I get a nice big chunk. Look at how pretty that is.
Okay, so our water's boiling, so we'll get that off the fire. Move this back.
Well, the moss insulation is going up fairly well.
Yeah, it is.
And I am soaked. My legs are just soaked. I don't know if you guys can see it. So happy that we have this fire going. I got a little bit of steam coming off the knees there. That's drying me out. So I know I keep harping on it, but this thing has been amazing. We've had it for a long time now already. And some people thought it wouldn't last. I wasn't sure myself, but it's still doing okay. So I'm hungry. We're gonna have our chili now. It's gonna get dark really quick, so I apologize if I'm not able to show the finished product. But I'm pretty much done to the point I want to get to tonight. There's still some to add to the top, but we're gonna need to add some more fir boughs so that the moss can have something to grab onto. So yeah, this has been great. A rainy day at the shelter.
It's always nice in the woods when it rains. It's different.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I'm really happy with the moss, and we haven't even touched half of it so far, which is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Although I might want to add an extra layer. So after about a week or two, because I'm not going to be here next week. So after about a week or two, we're going to check it again to see how it is, and if we need to, we'll patch up any holes. But so far so good. Time to eat.
Yep. Oh, my warm gloves. I'm gonna sit on them.
Stuff there.
We've had this for a long time.
In the freezer.
Yeah. 2018, long time.
Hey, supper's done. It was good.
Yeah, it was nice.
Spicy.
Haven't had chili in a while.
That warmed up the bones. So I'm gonna keep working away at putting a little bit more moss on the shelter, but it's gonna get dark soon. So I just kind of want to show you guys what it looks like right now. You guys have an idea, because we've had the camera on, but there's the old shelter, or new shelter. I love that wall. I can't wait till the whole front's finished. And there's our moss pile. We still have quite a bit. And I don't know if you remember what it looked like at the beginning, but that to me looks quite a bit nicer. We're still going to do across the top, at least with fir boughs this year. I might add an extra layer of moss on top of what's already there, depending on what we see the next time we're here. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like it? I do. This here is a ladder that we had used to build the whole shelter to get to the top here. And we were using it to hang the chimney pipe. So that's going to be removed and gonna get something else. So I have to figure out what to do with that. It seems to have twisted quite a bit. That's no big deal. That was just a disposable ladder. So Sandra, who's much more clever than I am, suggested I just show you the other side. So as you can see, all these dead spruce boughs. Still providing some insulation, but it's not the prettiest. So if we go around the other side, and like I said, keep in mind this is not finished, but I think this is going to look quite nice once the whole thing is done. Very happy so far. Things seem to be going well. Right, Sandra? Yep. Alright folks, we're going to call it there for this trip. It's going to get dark soon. It's been raining all day. We're both kind of soaked and a bit chilled. But really happy with the day. We're glad we came out. It's the reason why we came out even with the rain. They were calling for rain. It's already October, and in this part of the world, snow could happen in October. Yeah. It could still only be December before it falls, but around here you just never know. So we needed to get this started. I'm so glad we did, and it gave us an idea of how much we need. We still got a whole bunch more moss. Like I said, not finished product. We still need to put some boughs up across the top, and if we can, maybe we'll add some moss there too. But we're going to play it by ear to see how much we can get done this year. I said too much, and I lost control of my tongue again. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. It's really appreciated. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like how this looks. We do. Yeah. No, it looks way better. Yeah. And we hope to see you again next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.